Okay, it's 4 p.m. on Thursday, September 14th, 2017. We have a quorum, so I'll call this New Ulm Public Library Board meeting to order. First item is the approval of the agenda, which everyone should have in their packets printed before them. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
I so move.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion or changes? Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Also included in the packet is the minutes from the August 10th meeting. And hopefully everyone's had a chance to read through them. And if so, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the August 10th, 2017 Library Board meeting. Any changes, edits, corrections? Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Now we'll move on to the August 2017 financial report and summary. Chris?
That begins on page 6. We're 66.6% through the year. Our budget is about 62.6% expended. We did pay the second half of our membership fees to Traverse des Sioux, and that's reflected in cataloging and processing. There have been no unexpected expenses. I'm looking at the contractual maintenance building line, which we are at 48.5% spent. We have about $3,500 left in that line. I've asked our maintenance technician to get 2 bids on some sidewalk repair. We have some cracks, a couple of pieces are offline. We just want to work on keeping up with that. It's not something we're going to probably be able to correct entirely, but if we do it over 2 or 3 years period, we should be able to keep up with it pretty well. My question to you is, if it's a reasonable number, is that something that it's okay for me to go ahead and authorize, or do you want to see the bids next month?
I like the reasonable number, go ahead and do it thing.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to wait.
Yes.
I'd still like to see what they are and be notified of what they were, but yeah, I don't have a problem.
I could let the chair know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, would the city manager still have to authorize the expenditure?
No. City manager doesn't authorize things unless it's over $2,500.
Okay.
And I don't anticipate it being over that. That's when we do a purchase order and it goes through that process. If it's less than that, then no, he just sees when the bill is paid.
Okay.
And this would entail ripping out the section that's cracked and just replacing it entirely?
That's what we're hoping. There are big squares around the library, a couple more rectangular shapes, but we're hoping that they can just pull those up and replace those. They did that on First North Street side last year, so we're hoping they can do the same thing.
Would that be the same fund that the expenditure for the McCray Hoffman bench?
I'm sorry.
There's a bench that came up from the mini golf park.
Yes.
Is there expense going to be incurred to have that placed by the statue?
That is going to come from the landscaping, which we will be talking about how to pay for the landscaping and how much is going to be funded by the Wandagog folks and their fundraising efforts versus what the library will be paying. It could potentially come out of this budget. It could come out of fund balance as well.
Okay.
That'll be your call.
All right, anything else on the budget?
No.
All right, then we'll move on to the librarian's report, starting with the library department activities report and statistics. Chris?
That begins on page 14. The Brown County Board of Commissioners heard from the 5 public libraries last month and tentatively approved a 5% increase in public library funding for 2018. That would equal $3,700 and bring the total public library allocation from the county to $77,633. They do have to finalize that budget in December. This year, we received $73,933 from the county, and that's 6.5% of the 5 county public libraries' overall funding. So thank you to everyone who attended. We had a great turnout, and that really made a big difference for the commissioners to see the support from the public library patrons and board members. The Springfield City Manager was there as well. The Optimist Club of New Ulm has agreed to fund another year of licensing for movies, and this allows us to screen children's films as well as films presented by the New Ulm Film Society, so a big thank you to them for their continued support. I'm continuing to assist the fire chief with their historic objects, and we submitted a New Ulm Area Foundation grant to fund digitization and restoration of the historic New Ulm firefighter photos. Our hope is that these are headshots of the firefighters. There's a group of them from the 1800s and then several up through 1970. There's 5 different ones. They were in huge frames, and we want to restore the frames that we have available and create new frames and have those 5 returned to an original look. They will be scanned images, not the originals. We'll file those originals away. And the first step is to try to get some funding to do that project. We have volunteers who are going to be doing the digitizing, but it's the actual fixing up of the frames and creating the look of the original piece. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this kind of thing, and I'm learning a ton in the process. Our New Ulm art collection.
I got a question on that. So are these currently on display somewhere, or will they be, or what's the?
The goal is to hang the restored, digitized images in the stairwell at the main fire department.
Okay.
And they would be available for public viewing at any time. But our goal is 2020 because that's when the 150th anniversary of the New Ulm Fire Department
Cool.
celebration will occur. NewUlmArtCollection.org website continues to have materials added. We have volunteers really working hard on the Fred Johnson autographed collection. And so you'll see she comes in almost every week and continues to add material to that. These images from the fire department will be added to that as well. The library purchased an additional wireless hotspot for checkout, so that brings the total to 3, and that has no problem coming out of our contractual maintenance equipment fund. We have enough money to support that. And then kudos to April for her hard work at the Dakota War Commemoration Week. We partnered with the Brown County Historical Society. We were out in Springfield and Sleepy Eye. There were 9 events with a total attendance of 286. So April and I had a meeting with staff at the Brown County Historical Society to plan for future years' events. When it comes to statistics, nothing out of the ordinary, I would say pretty much status quo. I do want to mention under the overdrive that Traverse DeSou's executive director has created an application for a federal grant to have an influx of money for overdrive to help us beef up the collection. And we hope that that would then help us determine perhaps a different way to fund this, to provide more materials to kind of help that collection grow. And nothing out of the ordinary on our computer statistics. Our wireless statistics are really great again. About 2,000 people used it in August, so I'm really pleased to see that. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right, then we'll move on to programming with April.
Good afternoon.
The stats include for the last month include the Dakota War programs that Chris mentioned. So you can see here in the breakout of how many people we had at each event. That was a great week, and I was really excited to take part in it and learn more about the speakers that we have in this area who are interested in that topic. In upcoming adult programs, we have on Saturday, September 16th at 8:30 a.m. before the library opens, Chris is leading a Introduction to Ancestry Library edition. So she'll walk our patrons through using that online resource, give them some sample searches and then some tools for using for their own individual searches. And that's on our public computers in the library.
So does that just show up, or is there a registration required? So
They do need to call the library to register.
Okay.
Yeah. Then on Tuesday, September 19th, the Minnesota Valley Civil War Roundtable begins again. That is a series that meets on the third Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. and will continue each month through May 2018. This month, Dennis Warda will be presenting Civil War monuments in the South. On Saturday, September 23rd, we have the Minneopa Park Bus Tour. People are calling the library to register. We've got about 30 registrants so far. We can fit about 40 on the bus. So people can still register for that. We'll leave the library at 10:30 in the morning and return at 3:30, and our patrons can pack their own lunch. Otherwise, there's no cost to them. And the last few events I wanted to point out are related to National Library Card Sign-Up Month, which is this September. We've got a contest going at the library, which is funded by the Friends of the Library, where patrons who are either new library card holders or bringing in a friend or family member to sign up for a library card can be entered into prize drawings. We've got prize drawings or prizes for both adults and kids that they can sign up for, so they let us know what they want to be registered for. If someone brings in more than one new patron, they can sign up again and be entered in for multiple times. And then we'll draw those prizes and notify the winners in early October for those. Also celebrating National Library Card Sign-Up Month will be our open house on Sunday, September 24th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll have full-time staff manning that, so there's no effect on our budget. We'll just work those hours out of our normal work weeks. And we'll have a story time at 11:15 led by Jan, our youth services librarian, and we'll have refreshments, lemonade, and cookies, which will be served by the Friends of the Library. And then on Tuesday, September 26th at 6:30, we've got the Reptile and Amphibian Discovery Zoo visiting the library. They also go by Rad Zoo. They're out of Owatonna. And they'll be bringing animals, talking a little bit about the animals, educating the attendees about those animals, and then the people who come will have a chance to get up close and touch the animals and look at them. And that program is also funded by the Friends of the Library. So I want to thank them for their support for the programs this month. Can I answer any questions on these upcoming programs or the numbers you see from the last month? All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, April. Okay, now back to Chris on the update on the summer reading program evaluations.
Yeah, that starts on page 23. Just letting you know that we had a really good response this year as these evaluations show. I couldn't believe how much people love the scavenger hunts. The scavenger hunts happen year-round in the children's rooms, so kids really enjoy them. And Jan and Carla and Amy are talking about what they're going to do for next year. The theme will be Reading Rocks.
All right, and we'll move on to the exterior sign update.
I'm so happy with the sign. I hope you are too. I have been hearing good comments, including someone who came in and said, "That's a new sign, right?" Yes. But I think it does blend in very well, and it complements the Hall of Fame sign too. So I'm very pleased with that. And again, that's funded by donations.
And then taking that tree down certainly helped in terms of providing an exposure to the sign now.
Absolutely. And our street department is going to work us into their mix of stump removal and taking out the shrubs, the last of the shrubs and the shrub stump removals. And they said that probably will happen at the end of September, beginning of October. So I'm very pleased with it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about that or our landscaping. I will get you a design to the landscaping committee as soon as I have one.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the 2018 budget update.
What you approved was submitted and not changed. The city council will set the levy limit at its meeting on September 19th. I don't anticipate any changes to the library's budget. What you approved were the things that we have control over. There was a little bit of tweaking on the personnel side, and that's handled by the finance department. They just took a look at what staff we have and made a couple of adjustments there. But nothing that we have a control over has been changed. And then the final budget will be approved in December.
Alrighty, and then last under the librarian's report of the strategic planning committee update.
And the Strategic Planning Committee had its first meeting on Tuesday. We've decided to meet every other Tuesday at 11 a.m., so anybody's welcome to come. And we started by looking at our mission statement, and we'll talk about values and vision, and then goals and objectives and all kinds of really great things. But I was pleased by the enthusiasm and ideas that were generated at the first meeting. And as I said, anybody's welcome. We'll have coffee and water.
So how many people you got total, and how many board members?
Sure.
and-
So 3 board members. That is Carl Zeidler and Margaret Blomberg and Bernice Schmitz. There are 3 full-time staff people. Betty Roiger, our acquisitions librarian, April, and myself. 2 part-time staff people. Sue Ullery is our reference library aide, and Nita Gilbert is a library aide. And Ruth Lindeman and Ann Vogel from the community, and then Friends of the Library Board President Chris Troutloff.
All right, great. All right, any other questions for Chris on the librarian's report? All right, then we'll move on to the single resolution we have today, which is on page 32 of your packet. It's resolution number 2017-34. This is the first reading, approving 2018 library fees and fines schedule. The City of New Ulm annually revises its schedule of fees. As a part of this, the library is required to update its fees and fines schedule. The library director proposes the attached schedule for 2018 fees and fines. The only addition proposed is book sale DVDs under the miscellaneous category with a cost of $1 per item. There is a change in wording for book sale, books, audiobooks, CDs for clarification. Replacement DVD case was moved from miscellaneous category to fines. The proposed schedule is available for public viewing on the city website. Changes proposed by library board members will be incorporated, and a second reading and adoption will occur at the October 12th meeting. The schedule then will be submitted to the finance department for the final approval by the city council. And then the next page basically outlays the schedule of fees for the 2018 season. So I suppose we have a month to look at this and provide you any feedback, if there is any. Are there any questions that anybody may have on this at this time? Alrighty, then we'll move on to the other business, which Chris has written in here. I think it's concerning the moving of the meeting time for next month's meeting.
And location.
Okay. So it says October 12th, 2017, the meeting location to be the New Ulm Middle School, 414 South Payne Street, with the access route, enter door number 3 off of Garden Street, and then go to room 229. Parking is available in the lot off of Garden Street near door number 3. And she's asking us to consider a request from the library director to begin the meeting at 5, so Chris can attend the League of Minnesota Cities regional meeting at the New Ulm Event Center, which ends at 4:30.
Is this moving of the time of just this, for this one meeting in October?
It will be in November as well. It's to provide, this room will be undergoing some security updates.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I meant the time of the meeting. that you
Oh,
wanted
that's
to
a
ch-
one-time, that's.
This one, okay.
Yep, just for this next meeting. I'm sorry, Carl.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I don't have any problem changing the time, so.
No.
I'm fine with the time, too.
Mhm. Do we need a,
I'm good with the time, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so if anyone can't make it, just let Chris know. I'm assuming everyone's okay with that. Alrighty. Anything else, Chris? Nope.
Nothing for me.
Or anything else from the board members?
do we need to motion that change of time, or doesn't that required? I mean, you provide a public notice, and the notice will have the change of time?
Yes.
And then will that, do they have recording capability out there then, or?
Yes, my understanding is New Cat has things set up out
Okay,
there because
so-
all of our meetings, all the city commissions, city council are moving out there.
Oh, okay.
for-
So,
for
but is
2
that,
months.
so is that recording, I mean, is that a standard procedure for that room, or are they setting that up special for all the meetings that will be going on out there?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
They record their school board meetings too, so I'm sure they'll just do it the same.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, there's nothing else then. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Is it?